Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch Transformers review. Yes, we took a little break, taking it a little bit slow, but we are back again, and we are back to Masterpiece, a Masterpiece movie specifically, and I guess I should say official Masterpiece, since that's hardly a thing here half the time. But today we are going to be taking a look at Transformers Masterpiece MPM-15 Decepticon Brawl. No, not Devastator. Apparently that was a mistake in the movie, but the toy is named Brawl, and Transformers always goes with the toy, so he is named Brawl. Now, I already did a pretty extensive unboxing and setup of this figure. I'll put a link in the description down below so you can check that out. We got a lot to go over with this guy. He packs a big punch, so I'm just going to take a quick spin of the box, and then we're going to get right on with the figure itself. So, real quick, we have, let me adjust the camera quick, we have a nice image of Brawl. If I can get the glare off the screen, and you can see he just looks beastly. He's in tank mode, he's in robot mode. Got Transformers right here, MPM-15 Decepticon Brawl. He is a Decepticon, ages 8 and plus, Transformers and all the good stuff. Masterpiece movie series right up there. On the top, we have Brawl in tank mode, giving you a preview. On the side, we have Brawl in tank mode again. And on the bottom, we have legal stuff and UPCs. And on the side, we have Brawl in robot mode and in tank mode. Face only a mother could love. And of course, there we have all the things this toy does, all his accessories, all that good stuff. He is an authentic Transformer, since we got to specify that these days. And that's pretty much it for the box. And let's talk about Mr. Brawl. We touched on him a bit in the unboxing, and we're going to talk in depth about him. And straight away, this guy is just badass, especially in his tank mode. He is a modified M1 Abram, and he just looks great. He's a hair on the light side, a hair lighter than I would like. But again, that's a very minor nitpick. Overall, again, he still has a very stout weight to him. He's made of very durable plastic, so again, fear not. Just a bit lighter than I like for a Masterpiece level figure, but I'm not too beat up about it. He does have some paint on here for the fatigues. For the most part, he is mostly unpainted. I usually gripe about that for a Masterpiece figure, but again, he's a tank. He's supposed to be, very industrial, very warlike. He does have some red here for the tail lights, though. He's got some yellow on his little rocket launcher pieces. These are a separate piece, by the way. We went over this in the unboxing. And of course, he has some silver along his little scrapers here. You can see also has some kind of scrapage detail along the front. That's a really nice touch. Other than that, he's loaded with molded detail. You can see on the side, he's got some rivets all along. Got some venting detail, tons more rivets along the outside, more venting detail. He's even got the flares right up here. I really do like that. And then you can see he's got the hatches all along the top, more venting detail. Just getting loaded. We got some conduit right along here. Now you can see his head up there, but it hides itself well enough. And then of course, you got his little silver on his little grates up here. One thing I do really like about this guy is the barrels are fluted. All three of them are. That's a really nice attention to detail. He, of course, does have his little tanks on the tank right on back, just kind of fitting over there. Do got a little bit of robot sticking on, and of course, the bottom is mostly, I mean, it's how I would expect a tank to look. I mean, yes, it's got robot junk, but again, it doesn't present itself as robot junk. This kind of looks like an engine to me. And again, this looks like, just kind of armor or whatever. This is a gap we will talk about in just a bit. He does have some wheels, by the way, on his nice detailed treads, and he will roll on anything but my table. My table, we've seen, is just kind of this purgatory of non-rolling stuff. And of course, as far as his articulation goes, so the main barrel can go down this far, up this far. The auxiliary rails can go up this far, down this far. They both do the same thing. His turret does spin all the way around, and yes, again, this may bug some people. He does basically expose a big gap right here. I'm not too bugged by it. Again, you can just make him go like this, and it's perfect for some shots, but that is one thing that he does have. His upper turret will go all the way around as well, just like that. And of course, we talked about his rocket launchers being a separate piece. Those will rotate. They could go all the way around if you so wanted. And his last piece, these do kind of tab in right here, just very loosely, but again, you can angle these however you so desire. He does come with quite a bit of accessories in both modes, especially in this mode, and we're gonna get this. I'm gonna straighten out the camera, and We're going to get those in here. So he does come with a crap ton of blast effects, which I just love. They are done in a kind of rubbery, clear orange plastic, looking very good. They have these ports on here, both external and internal. He comes with 2 big ones, and he comes with 2 little small ones, and you could just plug these wherever you so desire. You can do big ones in the big cannon, small ones in the small cannon. You can do a big one in the small cannon, and you could just set this up however you want, and he could lay some waste to some Autobots or some humans, whichever you desire. He also does come with a mega blast effect, and you can see he's got these little smooth sheens here. These are supposed to be simulating the rockets getting launched, and this is kind of a 3-piece set. So again, you got this right here, and it just kind of plugs in right along here. Same thing with this one, just kind of tabs in right along here, you know, just kind of it comes with this thing in 3 pieces. And how this works is it will work on either rocket. Oh, you just gotta situate. Oh, no. I think that's the way, and as long as it fits over the kind of barrels here, you will be fine. There you go. He is like fully loaded out with ammunition, pumping lead into people. Alternatively, and we're going to take these out for a second, he does come with his robot mode accessories. Of course, he comes with his cannon right here. We're going to talk about these here because you can mount these on the tank mode. And of course, this is done. You got some drab green on the top there, and then of course you got some ribs for the barrels, looking very good. Again, you got some detailing right here, and of course, you do have some like kind of honey colored conduit. I really like this. This really kind of pops, and this will fit on. You can see you got a tab right here. You can see you have 2 slots right here, and this really only goes on one way. So again, you put this here. You can really only fit this on this side because if you try to fit it over here, then you can't fit this. And of course, this is his little grass cutter, his little blade arm, and you can see this is done. You got some black plastic for the blade. Again, you got more of his drab green and fatigue for the shield. You got a little Vulcan gun on here, and you got this tab right here. And again, that will go on the other side just like this. So if you want weapon storage, and again, it looks ridiculous as all weapon storage in his tank mode, but again, you have that if you so desire. I will never display him like this personally, but of course, if you want to give him even more guns than he already has, you can certainly do that. And of course, we'll disarm him a bit for some comparisons. We're going to do a few of these. Of course, we'll do our typical comparison. Here he is with MP-18, our typical form of masterpiece measurement. So you can see how that looks. I'm not going to spend too much time on this guy, and we'll get him off the table. And then of course we'll get another MPM comparison. We'll of course get Masterpiece Movie Optimus. There's of course my LT02KO, so you can see how he looks with another masterpiece in his vehicle mode. And there we go for that. And then of course we're going to get him in with the only other MPM Decepticon that I have. He's kind of big, but we'll see. Try and make this work. Leave back the camera off, and of course there he is with MPM-13 Blackout. And I did some pictures of these guys that you'll see in the short, but these guys look absolutely awesome. I know Blackout barely fits on the table, but again, I can't wait to get the rest of the set because these guys look absolutely badass together. Very good looking, and we'll get Mr. Blackout off the table. And lastly, but not leastly, just for funsies, we'll get him in there with the Ocular Max Probus, their take on a G1 Masterpiece Brawl. So you can see how that looks, you know, how he's going, how he's been, all that good stuff. And again, honestly, tank-wise, and we're going to see in the robot mode, I think Brawl is definitely one of the more G1 faithful. If you're talking about G1 faithfulness in the Michael Bay movies, look no further than this guy, because I think overall, this is a solid modern-day adaptation of the G1 character. But just so you can see how both those guys look out, and they're pretty similar in sizing in the vehicle mode. And that's pretty much it for comparisons in vehicle mode. Alright, so it's time to get Mr. Brawl transformed up into his robot mode. And overall, this transformation is pretty fun, pretty enjoyable, got quite a bit of slop room, so let's get right into it. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to take these, push them in just like that. They just go in a little way, and there we go, just for that. And then what we'll do is we'll take his front rakes, and we'll just kind of bring them down on these arms right here. They are in a very loose tab slot connection, but overall, it's not too much to get them on. You're just going to kind of bring them down, get them out of the way right just like this. Next, what we want to do is we're going to kind of start unlocking stuff. This is where I kind of differ from the instructions. The instructions, I've never been a fan of the instructions for these, by the way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to untab these. You got a port right here, and it's going to go into this little tab right in here. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to pull this out from here just like this. You can bring this down just like this. That will unlock basically the front half from the upper half. It's going to be the same thing on this side. I'll do it off camera real quick and we'll be right back. So now that we got that taken care of, what we're going to do is we're going to bring these out just like this and fold these panels over, and then you see they have this panel up here. You're just going to fold that in just like this. You can leave it like that. Same thing for the other side. Just bring this up just like this, and you can fold this in just like that. You can leave these like that for now. And then what we want to do next, and by the way, that'll kind of untab. You can see it tabs into the front plate here. That'll kind of free that up once you start doing that. Next, what we want to do is we just kind of want to start bringing, you can fold these turrets up all the way, and you're just going to kind of bring this up, and you can see it's on a hinge right in here. And you're just going to kind of bring this up. You can bring this up as well, and these kind of folded in, but you can fold these in right now. They'll just sit like that, and you're just going to kind of bring this up just like this. And what you can do is you can kind of turn this turret around just like this, and then what we can do is we can unpeg his arms. They just kind of tab in on either side. You got tabs on either side, and you just rotate them out on this hinge right here. Just give ourselves quite a bit of room to work. Then what we want to do is the turret here folds in a few places. So you got a hinge up here. You're just going to rotate it in there. You have a hinge right in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to rotate it in, and then you have one hinge at the base here, and you're just going to rotate it in yet again and kind of going to move the arm out of the way. And you'll notice that right down in here you have a tab, and it's going to go into a slot right in there. It's kind of hard to see, but you're just going to kind of, you have to bring the turret down straight, or rather the pivot down straight, and it'll just tab in right like that, and you can just leave the turret like that for now. So next, what we want to do is we are going to spin him around yet again, and let me raise the camera. I'll be right back. So what we want to do is we just want to spin him around yet again, and we're just going to bring out his head, and bring out down his head just like that. And then what we can do is we can basically take this whole plate. You just got some hinges right in here, and you're just going to kind of rotate them down just like this, and just kind of situate it just like that. And then what we can do is, it's hard to see, but you got some tabs right here, and it's going to slot right into up here. Same thing for the other side. You got tabs right in here, and just going to kind of slot it in right like that. And then what you can do is you can actually push in the treads, and you're just going to kind of take this tab and just kind of slot it in here. Same thing for the other side. Just kind of bring this back all the way back, and then just kind of push this tab right in here and slide it in here just like that. Then what we want to do is we have the little rake arms right here, and what we can do is just kind of bring these back just like this and just situate them back just like that. Same thing for the other side. And we're just going to bring this back just like this, situate it back just like that. Kind of angle these out to give ourselves some room, because what we're going to do next is we are going to fold these down and then fold out the head. It's on this hinge right here. And you're just going to kind of bring it all the way. You see you got two tabs right here. They're going to go into two slots right up here. So you're just going to bring this all back. And you can kind of see how his whole kind of chest plate deploys just like that. And then what we can do is we can kind of work the rakes back and just kind of fold them up and in just like this. That'll give us a little bit of room to work just like that. So we basically got them looking like this, a discombobulated mess. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of bring the arm down. This is kind of the elbow joint. And that's going to kind of free up from these two tabs on here. And then what we want to do is we have a double hinge right on here. And we're just going to kind of use that double hinge. And we're just going to kind of take that out. This tabs in right to a slot right in here. So bring this all the way back. And then we're just going to take this double hinge, move this out of the way. And we're just going to kind of wrap this all the way around. And while we're doing that, what we can do is we could bring this up on this hinge right in here, and it's just going to kind of tab in right in here, and then we can just kind of fold it in just like this. And then what we can do is we got a slot right here, we got a tab right here, and this is just going to kind of go in just like this and lock in just like that. And then we can kind of bring this out just like this, and when we're bringing that out, we can bring this in on this hinge here, and you see it's got a little tab lock, and it's going to go right into here just like this. There we go, and that will lock the arm in place. And then what we can do is we can take this and we can kind of rotate it back, just kind of get it around the arm. I'm sorry, rotate it back in like this, and then we can kind of move it in like this, and then just kind of tilt it in, and it's got a little slot right here. It's going to go into a tab, and that's just going to kind of lock in and finish off the belly. And then what we can do is we can real quick finish off the arm, bring this out, and what we'll do is we'll go to the back side here to finish this off. So what we want to do is we're going to bring this up. You can see it's on a double hinge right here. We're just going to kind of work this up just like this, up and over. And then what we want to do is we want to work this up and over. Well, for this, it's best to push on the hinge, otherwise this piece will fall off. It's kind of a very easy to push off piece. So what we'll do is we'll kind of bring this in, and we'll just kind of work it over under just like that. And you can see it's got a tab right in here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to push them directly over one another, and that'll lock in just like that. And then what we can do is we're going to bring this up just like this, and it's on a double hinge mechanism as well right here, and you're just going to lock it in just like that. That's going to pretty much unleash the hand, so we can fold out the little claws, and then we can bring this down, and that is basically one arm all done. It's going to be the same thing on the other side. And we can also fold this down as well, and I'm going to do the other side. We'll be right back. All right, so we can see these basically half a man. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off the backpack real quick, and how we're going to do that is we're going to lift this up, and we're just going to rotate all of these at the base hinge all the way around. Just bring this back and just rotate it so all the turrets are pointing up. Next, what we want to do is we have a tab right here. It's going to go into this slot right here and lock everything in. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in just like this, and this will give us a tab right here that's going to go into a slot right here. It more locates here and actually locks in here. So we're just going to bring this down. I'll try to show it as best as I can, but don't hold it against me if I can't. And there we go, and you can see it's kind of locating into there. It's kind of hard to show that it's locked in here. Next, what we're going to do is same thing with the other side. We're going to bring this in, and we're just going to bring it in just like that, and same thing with the other side. So what we want to do next is we're going to finish off the backpack, and we want to bring this up, and you see it's got these two little tabs right here that's going to go into two slots right in there. Also, you want to make sure that this plate right here goes under the two sides right here. So we're just going to kind of bring this in. It's kind of a finesse game, and we're just going to kind of bring it in, make sure that it kind of stays center, and that'll lock in. And then we can see it's located on the sides, and then you can see we got two tabs, and in the bottom of the turret you have two slots. So we're just going to kind of bring it in and lock that in. Same thing with the other side, and lock that in just like that, and then we'll kind of lock in the backpack. And then we kind of bring the turrets up, and the last step for here is we're going to, the last few steps, this fell off, but either way, we're going to bring these out, and they're going to kind of lock into place up here, and you could just rotate this and just kind of rotate out, give him his little rocket launcher. Same thing with the other one. We're going to bring it out and rotate it up. And lastly but not least, we're gonna bring this up on this hinge right here, fold it over just like this, and then just fold this over as far as it'll go. It'll be on this hinge right here, and that is pretty much the entire backpack all done, and we can move on to the legs next. So he's basically half a man, so we'll give him his legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to split his legs apart, and it's got this tab right here. It just goes into a slot right here, and then of course they got tabs on the back panel, so we can just fold these over just like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take basically this whole back assembly right here. We're just going to bring it around on this hinge right here, just kind of bring it out. And once it's out to about here, what we can do is we can start bringing the foot down, and that's going to make basically the whole tail light assembly basically kind of like parallel with this leg. And then we can just rotate the foot to the front just like this. Leave this open, actually fold it out a bit more, and we can kind of bring this back just like this. And what we can do is we can bring this out, and you can see we're on a double hinge right here. We're gonna just basically fold this over so it's inside out almost. So you can see we got the double hinge back out here. And then what we want to do before we do anything is we want to pull this piece out just like this, and we're just going to kind of move this into position. What we're trying to achieve is we have a slot in here, we're trying to get it on a tab here, and you got this double hinge right here. You basically want to make it so that it's parallel with this surface. Just kind of bring it up just like that, and then you can kind of rotate this into position. It's going to tab in, and you know it's tabbed in because it's basically completing the contour or the geometrical shape of the leg. Lastly, what we want to do is we're going to bring this over just like this. We're going to fold this over. You see you got a slot right here. It's going to go onto this tab right here. So you're going to bring it over just like that, and that's going to cover everything up. Leave this tabbed in, and then we can kind of finish off the foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold out his little spur right here. We're going to unfold his toes just like that. We're going to bring out his little upper toes just like this, and then of course this is the only foot that has this. We're going to fold in that tab just like this. Of course, bring these out just like that, and that's gonna be basically one leg all done. I'm gonna do the other one off camera, and we'll be right back. And for the final step, you got his little hip spikes here. You're just gonna rotate these out however far you want. They're just little rubbery pieces, and like magic, there we have MPM-15 Brawl in his robot mode. And let's talk about that robot mode. Now, one thing I do want to point out from here is because you can't see it when I bring him up close to the camera, he does have some red for the eyes. It's kind of back in there. You can see it better from afar than you can up close. I'll bring him up closer real quick. And yeah, you can see his eyes are just sunken so far way back in there. But he does have 4 eyes. He's Mr. 4 Eyes. Got some gold accents all over on the head. Got even the teeth in there done in silver. Really nice attention detail. Got some venting detail right down here. See a little bullet hole in his helmet. A face only a mother could love, like all these Bayverse Decepticons. Decepticon symbol done in black right across the chest because he is not a KO. And again, another bullet hole. Again, you got tons of scrapes. Nice paintwork done across the chest. You got the forks from the front of the tank earlier. Again, just really beautifully done. He looks like he looks like he's seen some stuff all over. And again, in standard Bayverse spot fashion, you know, he just looks like basically that alien robot just with tank parts hanging off of him. And I absolutely love it. You can see some of this stuff came a little loose right there, but again, you got the little tank wheels right in there. Everything covered up overall pretty well, like just a really nice and cohesive, no gappage or anything. You see down here at the thighs, when we move down, you got some like honey colored wiring, looks really good. You got some gold right down here in his little pelvic area, even a little decoration right down here to all the little gears showing up right here. Then of course his legs, just nice and beefy legs, beefy feet, everything just nicely detailed all the way around. We'll spin around real quick. You do got some, you know, little back pieces right here, but I can kind of mesh in with the structure. Again, just everything. I mean, there's his backpack, you know, just this is studio accurate. So again, just nothing really out of place here. He's just an alien robot with a whole bunch of tank parts hanging off them, and I absolutely love it. Raise the camera up, talk about his articulation, because this guy has a lot going on. So the head will swivel right and left. I can go look up just a little bit. It can look down just a little bit as well. And check this out. Roar, his mouth does open very wide. I might even see the teeth in there, just like we talked about. That is some really nice attention to detail on Takara's part. His little rocket launchers on his back do swivel up and down, and of course you can swivel them left, right, just like in tank mode. Here's how his arms work. So you do have a ratchet right in here, and that goes all the way out to the side, and again, clickety-clackety ratchet, or you can rotate it all the way up on a nice clickety-clackety ratchet. It'll rotate all the way around. You do have some bicep swivel up here. You do have some elbow swivel up here. You do get about 90 at the elbow. You also get pretty much back a little bit. You can break his elbow almost. The hand, now the hand operates on a base hinge right here. You have a secondary hinge right here for his 2 fingers. Then you have his thumb on a base hinge, and then of course you do have a wrist swivel. It is a bit limited just to the way the tank and his little armor is all around him. Move his arms out. He does have a very slight waist swivel. You almost can't even see it. By the way, these things do rotate however you want them to. The legs on a nice clickety-clacky ratchet. It's a bit tight, but for a nice fusion kick, a beefy fusion kick, or you can bring them back for not such a fusion kick. And then check this out, on a completely separate ratchet, you can bring it all the way out for a fusion side kick. What are those beefy legs? He does have a knee swivel, and of course he can on another ratchet. He needs them. You can get a 90 at the knee just like that. Boom. And then of course he does have foot rotation. It'll rotate all the way, almost all the way around. And then of course you have a little bit of ankle tilt, and that is pretty much it for his articulation. We'll talk about his robot mode accessories, and as usual, some of these you know, some of them you're meeting for the first time. So of course we'll bring in his quad cannon from earlier, where you'd use that little tab from before. You can see his forearm has the slot right here, and you're just gonna plug it into his forearm and give him his weapons, load him up. And then of course you can bring in his little fork arm right here, and again you use that same tab before, and you're just gonna use the slot on the other side right here and armor him up. And there he goes. He is all loaded out and whatnot. We'll move this into a shooting position because of course we're gonna bring in his blast effects. Yet again, we're bringing the ones we already know about, and you'll notice you have some ports on the cannon right here. We'll bring this closer to the camera, and you do have the little internal ports. You can use those this time. You're just gonna plug them into all the blast effects. You can use all the blast effects on this guy, all of them if you so desire. And then of course, you know, plug every single port, can fire a shot, and he can lay some waste to some Autobots. Of course, you could bring in the blast effect from earlier's little rocket launcher effect, plug that into his little rocket launcher port right up here, and he could just be launching all of his weaponry. Or you could have weapons and fire being launched at him. So of course you do get one other blast effect. It is a 2-piece blast effect. You have this little piece that comes up on here. You just pull this off and you can just plug that in. It comes in 2 pieces. It comes in 2 pieces when you do get it in the box. There we go. That's how it goes in. And how this works is you do have this port right up here. And what you're going to do is you're going to plug it into his little peg right up here. And this kind of just molds in with his chest. And you can just kind of make sure we got this correct. And there we go, and that'll stand there so you can make it look like he is getting blasted the snot out of him. Or you could do one better. We'll take this off real quick because what you can do is you can actually detach his own arm just like that. And real quick, just to see how his arm attached, you have little tabs on here, and you do have a little key right on here. If you can see, you do have this basic, his arm, they just peg into his arm, and you have a key right here. This is where the keyed side goes. And you could bring in this piece as well, and this is basically to reenact the scene where he got his arm blowing off early on when we see him. And you can see it's just basically what's left of this, just, you know, just shards of metal and a little rubbery fire. It does look very, very cool. And you can see it's got the same design. It's got the little keyed side, so you're going to keep the keyed side with the keyed side. You could just make it look like his arm will give him all his little effects. You can just make it look like he is getting shot and doing some shooting. So yeah, overall really cool. Lots of nice accessories with this guy, just tons of options for display ability, and that's pretty much it for all his accessories. And we'll do our usual robot mode comparisons, and we're going to keep it mostly live action movies, mostly. We'll bring in Mr. Blackout, of course. You can see what he looks like with his brother in arms, the only other MPM Decepticon I have, and this for me is motivation to get the complete set. These guys look absolutely incredible together. I did do some poses that I took pictures of for the short that I'll be posting along with this video, so definitely check that out. But absolutely such a cool little set of Decepticons right here. We'll get him off the table. We'll bring in his nemesis, Mr. Jazz, or my silver silver phantom KO, so you can see what that looks like. And of course, Mr. Brawl towers over his nemesis right here. And then of course, lastly but not least, we will bring in the Black Apple Thunder Leader, or the oversized MPM-4 KO from Black Mamba, so you can see how these guys look. And again, as far as scale goes, this works for me. I always think that Optimus should be taller than most of the grunt Decepticons, so there we go for that. And lastly but not leastly, just for funsies, let's bring in Ocular Max Probus, or their take on a G1 masterpiece-ish Decepticon Brawl. And, you know, for all this talk that we hear about, oh, they sort of stuck with the G1 designs from the movie, look no further. I really think that the MPM-15, or the movie Brawl, carries over a lot of similar ideas and aesthetics that the G1 had. I mean, he's big, he's bulky, he's got tons of guns on him, he's even got these little prongs on his chest, you know, in the form of these right here. So again, overall, I think they definitely carried over a lot of the ideas from the G1 into this, and I think they look absolutely incredible together. And that is going to be pretty much it for our comparison. And let's sum it up for MPM-15 Brawl. And straight away, this guy is hands down one of the finest efforts Takara Tomy has made into the MPM line. When I saw the teaser photos of this guy months ago, I just had this feeling that this guy is probably going to be hands down the best MPM we've ever gotten. And straight away, I'm holding true to that statement. This guy is an absolute blast. He looks great in both modes. He comes with tons of accessories that are usable in both modes. He's got great articulation in both modes. Everything that you would expect to move on the tank does move. In robot mode, most of the stuff that you would expect to move does move, and even some stuff that you don't expect to move, actually moves. I mean, just an absolute stunning home run, greatest of all time. And yeah, I can't recommend this guy enough. He is an absolute joy to handle. So if live action movie Transformers are your thing, especially the MPM line, definitely look no further than MPM-15. This is definitely a home run for Takara Tomy. That being said, I did get mine at Target.com. I do believe he is a Target exclusive, so definitely check your mainline stores wherever you see them, or you can check Target.com as well. I do believe either Toy Dojo or Chosen Prime was getting a few in. If I find it there, I'll put a link to the description down below, so you can get one of your own. And that being said, this is going to conclude the review. So you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this review fun and informative, hit that like button down below. I greatly appreciate it, and it does help me out. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I encourage you to consider subscribing. I do Transformers reviews quite regularly, both masterpiece and non now, and of course both third-party and official reviews alike, so definitely check those out. I'll put a link in the description down below to my other MPM reviews. Spoiler alert, there's not that many just yet. But that being said, I am going to end right here. I have been FC Finch, and of course, thank you so much for making me a part of your collecting journey. Good night.